Welcome to the Money Report. I'm Mallory Hoff alongside David Wilkinson. And on today's show, we'll talk about the new rules of retirement.
Let's face it, retirement looks a lot different than it did for the generations before us. We've got tax policies in flux, markets churning, and longevity on the rise. Simply having saved enough isn't always enough anymore. Plus, retirees and their spending habits. How do you know if you'll be able to spend with confidence? Let's find out.
But first, joining us now is Jacksonville's retirement coach, Adam Wolf. Adam is an area certified financial planner with more than 2 decades of financial services experience. He's the president of Wolf Retirement Navigation, a firm that focuses on helping people build smarter plans for a successful retirement. He's also a popular podcast host. And as we get started today, I think a lot of people, Adam, have worked hard, they've saved effectively, but when it comes to a multi-decade retirement, they just don't have the confidence their money will last. What's your take?
Yeah, and rightfully so, because a lot of folks don't have that plan in place, that written plan in place to take into account all the potential risks and to solve the problems in retirement. So, the risk of running out of money, that's the number one, having an income plan in place that's going to lay out how and when they're going to spend their money. In addition to that, the second risk of investment risk or too much risk in the stock market. Right sizing that risk is the name of the game there. The third big thing is tax efficiency and making sure that taxes are the lowest level throughout your retirement. That's a big deal, especially when taxes have to go up because of the way our government's spending money. Healthcare costs, whether it's long-term care or Medicare plans, having that in place. And then also looking at your legacy, your long-term estate planning and where you want your stuff to go when you're no longer here. Having those key elements in a retirement plan brings confidence.
Yeah.
You just spoke about how so many people don't have this retirement plan or a written financial plan. I'm curious, though, what are most people that are getting ready for retirement thinking they're going to do to actually get through it?
Yeah, a lot of people wing it, and it's a double-edged sword because you may have a lot of assets and you're watching it in the stock market.
Yeah.
When to take it out. So you have that risk of too much maybe stock market exposure that can bring those balances down, but when to take that money out to actually spend to supplement your Social Security or pension, that's the key element. So when things in the stock market start to go down potentially, you're unable to spend your money because of the fear of running out. So without that plan in place to weather the good times and weather the bad times with more stable returns and a more stable environment, it's going to allow you to enjoy your plan and enjoy your money and then do the things in retirement that you've saved your entire life for.
So you just mentioned people who are winging it, of course. For those who are winging it with the help of AI, ChatGPT, I think there are a lot of really smart, very successful people out there who think, I've got all the knowledge at my fingertips. I'm going to figure it out on my own. Adam, what could possibly go wrong?
Yeah, we do this every day.
Yeah.
So I've been doing this every day for the last 25 years. And so when it comes down to using Google, using ChatGPT, that's great. But the question I do ask is, if you were to go see a doctor, would you want to see a specialist or do you want to go to Dr. Google? Which one do you want to do?
Specialist.
So,
You better believe it.
So we're doing this every day. We're helping people and having that long-term relationship where as life happens, we're there for you. That's the key to a successful retirement.
Yeah, mistakes can certainly erode one's wealth. What mistakes have you seen when it comes to implementing tax strategies?
Yeah, number one, not thinking of taxes. Think of it like as the rearview mirror in the year that I have that tax return that I have to prepare. People think of federal taxes in the year that they have to pay the taxes,
Yeah.
which we don't want to pay one more dime than we need to the government, right? Legally.
Legally, yeah.
When we look at it, it's about proactive tax planning, making sure that over your lifetime, we're going to have the least amount of tax cost. Because think about it, your 401ks, your IRAs, they're loaded with taxes. That's income in the year you take it.
Yeah.
So if you are in a higher tax bracket down the road because the government's raised the tax rates and to pay for all of this debt that is racked up, I would much rather have something that I can pull out of tax-free that's already been washed of taxes legally to be able to have more in your pocket down the road to do what you want to have done, when taxes are bound to go up in the future.
All right, so Adam, with that in mind, what is the sweet spot? When should you start thinking about tax strategies?
Yeah, anytime prior to retirement. I mean, when you're working, you're accumulating your money, you're putting money away, taxes are important, but there's very few things we can do along the way, especially if you're an employee. So as we get closer, 1 to 5 years away, starting to stage your assets in the right environment whether it's converting to Roth IRAs, using your 401k as a Roth component if the employer offers that. Anything we can do to do tax-free, but it has to be, the math has to be right, and calculation has to be right along the way.
I imagine it doesn't take too much persuading when you potentially show them a tax-free retirement.
Exactly. So, nobody wants, it's counterintuitive as a human to pay taxes more than you actually need to. But when you lay it all out and you say to yourself, do I want to pay it now when historically we're at the second lowest historic rates we've ever had, and we know that the government can't continue to run up the bills that they're doing 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the road, I would much rather have a bucket of money that I could pull money out of, supplement my retirement, or leave it to my beneficiaries in the most tax efficient way possible.
I'm hearing gotta do the work and don't procrastinate. Speaking of which, the time to act is now.
It sure is. Today exclusively for our Money Report viewers, Adam has an offer for you. Right now, for the first 5 callers with a portfolio of $500,000 or greater, he's offering a complimentary Retire Smart plan just for you. This will allow Adam and his team to sit down with you personally and provide you with a roadmap, analyzing where you are right now and then discuss your best steps to really get ready for a successful retirement. The number to call, it's 904-872-6264. Once again, that phone number, 904-872-6264.
When you think about risk in retirement, things like market volatility or rising costs may come to mind. But for many pre-retirees, it's the tax challenges they don't see coming that end up doing significant damage. Adam, what are the most common tax challenges you see retirees encountering?
The biggest challenge is keeping up with all of the rules. The rules change.
Yes.
RMD ages go from 70 and a half years old to 75. That's when you have to take money out of your IRAs or 401ks. Sure. Just keeping up with all the different intricate rules, when you can take money out prior to 59 and a half age, just what the government has imposed through the IRS on those plans, it's important to know the ins and outs.
An early withdrawal, what could that cost you?
It can cost you up to 10% of a penalty for early withdrawal, but there are ways to get money out of those plans prior to. They're called exclusions to the rules. So knowing those rules are extremely important.
In terms of RMDs, which you just mentioned, what are people missing here in terms of the actual impact of handling this correctly?
Yeah, so required minimum distributions, they're required by the government that you have to start to take money out of these plans when you hit a certain age. And a lot of folks who are retired, it's a moot point because they're already taking money out to spend, to enjoy, to pay their bills. But for folks who have very large IRAs, 401ks, tax-deferred plans from their employers, those things can get very, very ugly from an income perspective. So if tax rates rise in the future, when they rise in the future, that is going to be a larger bill for you because the government's got to raise all this money. They're going to come after these IRAs, in my opinion, that have not been taxed yet. So you're going to be paying more of that RMD to the government instead of yourself. That's more money in your pocket if you have a smart strategy in place to alleviate, reduce as much of this tax as possible over your lifetime.
All right, so we are talking a lot about the future here. For people who say, okay, hold on, I'm just gonna kind of wait this out, take my time, I'll assess eventually. What can go wrong?
Yeah, time's going to get in the way. So right now we have time with the most recent bill that was passed. We have these tax laws that are going to be in place for a little bit longer. They call it permanent, but we know in DC what happens permanently? Nothing. So 2 to 4 years, another set of folks are going to be up there doing their own legislation, potentially changing the tax code. So if we get ahead of this now, we have locked in some lower tax rates, historically low tax rates, to move money from these tax-deferred plans that you have into tax-free lifestyle.
I think, Adam, so many of us are head down, going to work, doing our work every day. We're not paying attention to these constant changes in the tax code. How can we stay up to date?
I hope not, because you have your life.
Exactly.
So that's what we do. That's what I do every day. So my clients rely on me to help them and navigate through all the change of the tax codes. Staying up to date is key. Having a plan in place that can maneuver and that is flexible to take into account all of the different tax laws that are out there that are affecting you specifically and your IRAs, your 401ks, anything that we can move into tax-free Roth, whether it's while you're working, through the 401k, or through conversions, we do for our clients day in and a day out.
In an ideal world, when does an individual or a couple knock on your door and say, let's have this conversation? At what point in time before retirement?
Yeah, most folks come to see us about 5 years before retirement. I mean,
Okay.
we have some folks that come in and they say, hey, I want to retire tomorrow.
Exactly.
You know, we can do the dirty work to get that done, but we'd rather have folks come in between 1 and 5 years out. We can lay out the plan to start to stage not only the assets, but to lay out that tax plan, lay out that overall retirement plan that takes into account not only the investments, the healthcare costs, the insurance, everything that you need to get you to and through retirement successfully.
All right, planning will potentially create the best scenario possible. Adam, thank you so much. We appreciate it. And coming up on the Money Report, we'll head to the football field and we'll talk about your game plan for retirement, how defensive holding and pass interference may apply to your savings. But first, David will put Adam on the clock.
And having a plan going forward throughout retirement to reduce those taxes.
And now today, exclusively for our Money Report viewers, Adam has an offer for you. Right now, for the first 5 callers with a portfolio of $500,000 or greater, he's offering a complimentary Retire Smart plan just for you. This will allow Adam and his team to sit down with you personally and provide you with a roadmap analyzing where you are right now and discuss your best steps to really get ready for a successful retirement. The number to call right now, 904-872-6264. Once again, that number, 904-872-6264.
From the couch seat to his feet, time for 15 in 15. 15 topics in 15 seconds for you. But are you ready?
Yes, let's do it.
Here we go. Question number 1, 401k plans. Some offer a Roth component. Why should people consider going the Roth route?
Yeah, traditional 401ks, tax deferred, meaning when you pull the money out in retirement, it'll be whatever income you pull out and also whatever tax rate you're in at that time. So the Roth component of 401ks, tax-free. It should be looked at seriously while you're working, and we want to keep as much money tax-free as humanly possible.
Yeah, I would agree. Sign me up for tax-free.
That's right.
Don't need convincing. Question number 2, keep calm and carry on. This too shall pass. Time is on your side. These are statements that don't always apply for retirees. Why is that?
Yeah, and they may apply, but not always. I mean, while you're working, while you're accumulating your money, that makes a lot of sense. When you're starting to spend this money, those types of statements can be very detrimental.
Yeah, I think for all the advisors out there that might be saying that to someone in that retirement red zone when it comes to risk, if you're saying that, investigate how they're being paid. Question number 3, we'd all like to have a more confident retirement, one that allows us to enjoy our lives. So what are some of the keys to making that happen?
It's huge. I mean, you're looking at retirement income planning, which is the confidence to never run out of money. You know, you want to have that going on. In addition to that, you want to look at your risk. You want to right-size the risk within your investment portfolio. The tax efficiency, making sure you have a tax strategy to keep the taxes low over your lifetime of retirement. In addition to that, your healthcare costs, your long-term care costs, we got to take that into effect. And then also where you want your stuff to go when you're no longer here, your legacy, your estate plan, we have to look at that as well.
Sir, a powerful answer worth much more than 15 seconds. Extra credit to you. Question number 4, if you're in or nearing retirement, you've likely heard it's important to have a purpose during retirement. But Adam, why is it important for people to also know the purpose of all of their monies?
Yeah, a lot of people talk about retirement. I'm retiring from something, your job. It's retiring to something, not just for you to have your purpose, but also for each bucket of money that you do have to have its purpose as well. Short term, mid-term, long term, having that element, having that combination is the key to success.
Absolutely, and you're kind of like a counselor, right? You do financial plans and help people understand what they're retiring to.
That's right.
It's a beautiful place. Question number 5, happiness is a great goal, but why do you say that chasing financial happiness isn't going to necessarily get you to where you might think?
Yeah, I mean, nobody on their deathbed says, hey, I can take this money with me. You know, it's all the experiences they had, the conversations they had with individuals, the people that they helped, their family, the volunteering they do. That's important. That's the experience. It's not all about the money.
Yeah, it's like they say, you never see a U-Haul following a hearse. Enjoy it. Question number 6, following up with the magic number goal nonsense. We've talked about this before, people going after all these numbers. Why is it more important to have a spending plan?
The spending plan alleviates that need to have that one number in your brain that you got to get to, because think about it. You may have a pension, you may have Social Security. That's a layer of income that you have. In addition to that, your savings, that's another layer of income. It's whatever your budget is that gets back to the right amount of risk, the right amount of income to live off your retirement.
Is it common, though, for people to come in and say, I've got $2 million, that's all I need, that's my plan?
You see it all the time. See it all the time.
Yeah, run the numbers.
That's it.
See if you can maximize that money. Question number 7, there's a study out about retirees and their spending habits. 49% could not maintain their level of spending in the first 5 years of retirement. They had to cut back their spending, Adam, by up to 50%. What did these people not account for?
Yeah, so I don't see my clients with that situation,
Great.
but it's out there. It's out there. And what they're not accounting for, those folks, is how expensive it is those first multiple years of retirement. That's when we're the youngest. That's when we're the healthiest. That's when we want to front load our retirement.
Yeah.
That is when we want to enjoy it more on the front end. Because think about it, later on in life, last thing we want to do is be flying around the world or doing this trip and that trip and going through airports. It's tiresome. So let's spend the money now. Let's enjoy it now. And that's typically more expensive.
Yeah, when you're younger, you're more vibrant. The
it.
go-go years.
That's it.
Go-go money. That's what we're looking for. Adam Wolf, going to pause the clock. Great start to 15 and 15. Today, exclusively for our Money Report viewers, Adam has an offer for you. Right now, for the first 5 callers with a portfolio of $500,000 or greater, he's offering a complimentary Retire Smart plan just for you. This will allow Adam and his team to sit down with you personally and provide you with a roadmap, analyzing where you are right now, and then discuss your best steps to really get ready for a successful retirement. The number to call, 904-872-6264. That's 904-872-6264. Let's speed things back up. Question number 8 of 15 and 15. Adam, how are taxes during your working years and taxes during your retirement years two totally different conversations?
Now, they're important in both. They can be high in both. So we need to take into account that large expense, reducing it as much as possible in the first year of retirement, and having a plan going forward throughout retirement to reduce those taxes to keep more in your pocket.
That's what we're looking for. Question number 9. Certainty is something we'd all like, especially when it comes to our finances. But what can be done to minimize concerns about our retirement savings lasting?
Yeah, so it's having a safety element within your portfolio, also having enough growth, risk involved, but having the right amount of risk, and then it comes down to the budget. What do you have budgeted for? Do we want to get things accomplished in the first phase of retirement, or do we want to wait until later on in retirement to have that money? But knowing what it is on paper, a plan to get you to and through retirement successfully.
Yeah, you want that playbook. Question number 10. According to a report, many workers say inflation is the top obstacle when it comes to having a comfortable retirement. Is it?
It can be. So inflation has been running hot and heavy recently. In our planning, we include inflation because things are going to get more expensive down the road. So your plan has to incorporate that.
So is it possible to potentially outpace inflation?
Oh, absolutely. You want to have the right amount of growth to outpace inflation.
Absolutely. Question number 11. We know there are different types of fees, and they can certainly be fair, but then there's the other side of that coin. What are the junk fees retirees need to be thinking about?
There's lots of hidden fees. There's hidden fees in mutual funds. There's expense ratios. You have to look at the prospectuses. Some advisors might be charging some high fees. If you have variable annuities, those can have lots of different charges, mortality expense charges and rider charges. So making sure that you have a full assessment of what your fees are, expenses are, and they may be appropriate. But if they're not, if you can save 0.25%, 0.5%, or 1% a year over the course of your retirement, that's tens of thousands of dollars, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars more in your pocket.
That's a game changer. Fair to say you absolutely hate hidden fees?
I hate them.
You hate them.
That's it.
All right, we'll just leave it there. Question number 12. There are multiple ways to retirement, but what are some of the habits people can develop right now to help them fulfill their goals because they implemented the right type of discipline?
Yeah, so while you're working, paying yourself first. If you're in an employer plan, getting that employer match, having that money compound over time as you get closer to retirement, coming up with that game plan of how you're going to take what you've saved, what your income is, to turn it into income when you no longer have the wages or the self-employment income. That's the discipline.
Yeah, make compounding your ally.
That's it.
In retirement. Question number 13, Yahoo Finance posted a checklist of things to do 5 years before retirement. It was basically know what's coming in, know what's going out, and have a plan for taxes and health care. That seems pretty simple. So Adam, is that understating the process?
It's understating the process. That's a good start, but it's understating the process because you want to have a defined goal in retirement. It's not to outlive your money. And then also to have it grow the right amount with the least amount of risk to get you to and through retirement successfully.
You a big fan of checklists when it comes to retirement planning?
That's it.
Yeah,
Yes,
you gotta have
all
it.
the time. You have
Groceries, retirement, you name it. Question number 14. Income makes the world go round in retirement, but how often do you see people retire with just Social Security and whatever is in their 401k?
We see it all the time, and it's taking what you've saved and then creating that income to supplement the Social Security based on your budget the right way with the least amount of taxes, the least amount of fees to get you through.
Multiple streams of income, right? Have you ever had a client complain about having too much income in retirement?
Never.
You can't go wrong with that. Final question of 15 and 15. Dave Ramsey says retirees should claim Social Security at 62. Not to put you at odds with Mr. Ramsey, but is he right?
No, he's wrong. He's not a licensed advisor either. So from 62, you may want to take it. You may want to take it at 70. It depends on what your situation is, what your goals are, what your health is, how you think Social Security is going to last. Now, math-wise and longevity-wise, it makes sense to defer, but everybody's different, and it may be different for you.
Absolutely, because we've talked about this as well. Cookie cutter plans, not what you're looking for in retirement. Have a customized retirement plan.
You got
It's
it.
a huge difference for success in retirement. Adam Wolf, great success here in 15 and 15. You're off the clock, my friend. Today, exclusively for our Money Report viewers, Adam has an offer for you. Right now, for the first 5 callers with a portfolio of $500,000 or greater, he's offering a complimentary Retire Smart plan just for you. This will allow Adam and his team to sit down with you personally and provide you with a roadmap, analyzing where you are right now and then discuss your best steps to really get ready for a successful retirement. You can call this a game plan to get you where you need to be. The number to call right now, it's 904-872-6264. Once again, that phone number, it's 904-872-6264.
You wouldn't want to walk onto the field for a big game without a game plan. And if you're lucky enough to make it to the postseason, there better be a strategy in place. Well, retirement is the postseason. And Coach Adam, we better have a game plan. All right, you ready to take us through this game plan?
Yes.
All right, let's go ahead and get started here. Football fan?
Yes.
All right, so here we go. First half of the game plan. Let's talk offense for a moment. Investments and growth. You spend a lot of time on both of these in your office. What do we need to know?
Yeah, we start to meet a lot of folks between 55 and 60. So this is a time where people still want to grow their portfolios, especially if they're 5 years out.
Yeah.
You know, start to look at staging their assets, whether it's within their 401ks, their IRAs, any brokerage accounts, to start to stage those assets for retirement, to look at other potential investments to take risk off the table.
All right, so speaking of which, defense, we know defense wins games. Market volatility, that's what you're talking about here. What do we need to know?
Yeah, markets go up, markets go down. The last thing we want to do is right before retirement have the market potentially go down on us to when it actually reduces your likelihood of having a successful retirement.
Could be an uncomfortable place to be. Okay, if you'll just toggle through here as we move right along, because we all know life goes fast. Third quarter game plan, offense, income planning, and growth. Bring me up to speed.
Yeah, so you've accumulated all these different things, whether it's a 401k, a TSP, an IRA, a brokerage account. You may have Social Security, you may have a pension. You're taking all of those things, and where are you going to get your paycheck from? How are you going to structure it once you don't have the wages anymore? What's the tax effect of all of that income that you have coming in? How much are you going to keep in your pocket? That's the key.
All right, so defense, tax strategies. Why are these so frequently overlooked?
Yeah, I'm a big believer if you save $1 in taxes, that's 100% return. So there's a lot of different mistakes that people can make with rollovers, with penalties, anything you can save on that end. But more importantly, putting together a tax plan over time when taxes are going to have to be higher because our government is spending so much money. Anything we can do now with historically low tax rates to put more money away tax-free, to have more money in the future that you can spend tax-free, that's a big deal.
Don't wait, don't be caught off guard.
Yes.
All right, and moving right along here. All right, here we go. Fourth quarter game plan. Here we are, our offense, income planning, protection, growth, and of course, legacy planning. Bring us up to speed.
Yeah, so right sizing your investment risk while you're retired, having the right amount of growth, the right amount of safety. You have your income plan in place. We're keeping the taxes low. We're also looking at those fees and keeping those fees extremely low.
Yeah.
That's how we're going to sustain to take the risk out of retirement and to have less stress.
All right, so Adam, I want to talk about long-term care, our defense. This can be a tough conversation to have, but a conversation that needs to be had.
Yes, it can be very expensive in our later life of needing care, whether it's at home or in a nursing home. We hate to think about it, but making sure your plan is in place to address it. At least we're addressing it. We may have to self-insure. We may look at Medicaid. We may look at insurance companies to help hedge that risk, but we have to address it for a comprehensive plan.
Big picture, when do we bring grown children into the conversation?
Yeah, as soon as you are comfortable with
Yeah.
that. Not everybody's comfortable with letting their adult children know what their plans are, but I'm a huge proponent, huge advocate of knowing that information in case something happens to the clients, having that interaction with us and our team to know who to go to and to call if something bad happens.
All right, Coach, wonderful guidance. If you'll just toggle through one last time for me, we'd be so grateful. All right, here we are. We have scored a touchdown in retirement.
Yes.
All of these items we just discussed, you got to think about them all in advance, right?
That's it. We have to plan for this. We have to have a written plan in place that goes through what your dreams are in retirement, your goals, and how to get there and to be the most efficient possible to squeeze as much juice from the fruit as possible.
Great coaching, great guidance. Adam, thank you. And more to come on the Money Report. But first, for you at home, if you want to make sure your retirement game plan is on point, today, exclusively for our Money Report viewers, Adam has an offer for you. Right now, for the first 5 callers with a portfolio of $500,000 or greater, he's offering a complimentary Retire Smart plan just for you. This will allow Adam and his team to sit down with you personally and provide you with a roadmap analyzing where you are right now and discuss your best steps to really get ready for a successful retirement. The number to call right now, 904-872-6264. Once again, that number, 904-872-6264.
A lot of great information today, and before we go, Adam Wolf, I know you have something very special for our viewers at home.
And yes, and for the first 5 callers who've saved $500,000 or more for retirement, please give our team a call and we'll put together your very own Retire Smart plan. And we'll do this on a complimentary basis.
Adam, always a wonderful conversation. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
And once again, exclusively for our Money Report audience, Adam has an offer for you. Right now, for the first 5 callers with a portfolio of $500,000 or greater, he's offering a complimentary Retire Smart plan just for you.
This will allow Adam and his team to sit down with you personally and provide you with a roadmap, analyzing where you are right now, and then discuss your best steps to really get ready for a successful retirement, a game plan to get you where you need to be. The number to call, 904-872-6264. Once again, that phone number, 904-872-6264.
And for all of us here at the Money Report, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.